Heating and air conditioning basics, or HVAC. Sometimes one gets embroiled in the details or the minutia of how an HVAC system works, and it becomes very complicated, very cumbersome, and very stressful, especially if you're not familiar with the wiring schematics, the control boards, the refrigerants, the pressures, the temperatures, etc. But there are a lot of times we take something that's overly complex and we need to reduce it to its lowest common denominator, so to speak, and simplify it. And effectively, the sort of a principle, or I'm not certain principle is the exact word, but a way that heating and air really works. Say we have the A-Coil and the air handler. Just think of it this way, HVAC. What does this A-Coil do? It absorbs heat. So the heat is like a magnet. It goes to this. It goes to the A-Coil. So this is the room. This is the house. Takes the heat, goes here. That has the cooling effect. It warms up this, but it has refrigerant here. The condenser outside discharges the heat. So the heat goes off. If you go out in the summer and put your hand about a foot over there, you'll feel the heat coming off of the in the air. Do not stick your hand here, because that fan can you might come back and regret that, because it's got a fan and that fan moves. So it doesn't take a 165 IQ to figure out what that could do. But notwithstanding, we've got an A-Coil, we've got a condenser. So the A-Coil, normally in the air handler, under the house, in the attic, in a closet, etc. It absorbs heat. It takes the heat from this side of the house. So think of heat goes to cool. So just think of this kind of like this is a fictitious analogy, like a magnet. This is a magnet that's pulling the heat. So now this begs the question, are we pumping cold air into a house or into a home with the air conditioning system in order to cool the house? Or another way to think about it, if this absorbs heat and we remove the heat from the house, what happens next? If we have a house here, this is the inside of the house, this is the heat's going here, so the heat goes here. So we remove the heat from the house. Once the heat's removed from the house, the temperature drops. So that's something to think about. So that's a theoretical question that one can kind of muse on that. The condenser outside very often discharges the heat. So principle of HVAC, the A-Coil absorbs the heat. Condenser discharges the heat. This goes to the outside, up in the air, wherever. You've got a fan here that pulls here and pulls it here. Then this A-Coil actually takes the heat from the house and pulls it towards the A-Coil, almost like a fictitious analogy. Say if this were a magnet and something was going here, but this heat goes here. So in the house, once we pull the heat out of the house, then the temperature of the house should progressively drop. So A-Coil, condenser, absorb heat, discharge heat. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.